Hey guys, welcome to the Super Bowl Post Show where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. And today I want to talk to you guys about Superman. So James Gunn did reveal some things about Superman and kind of what his plans are going to be. Just to give you guys a quick rundown of what this next Superman reboot film is going to look like. We're going to be seeing the early stages of Superman. We will be seeing the early years of Superman as a reporter trying to work Amy Superman at the same time. He won't be introduced to any major characters just yet because he's going to be such a young new Superman. And it's going to be pretty much like not a origin film, but kind of like what we got with the Batman. The early stages of the character. So we're going to get another movie where he's not really well versed in combat and all that stuff. So honestly, there is I lean two ways with this. I think number one, this potentially cannot work, and number two, this potentially could really work very well. Now I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to you guys about why I think it might not be able to work. And then I'll tell you about how it could possibly work. So I think this could possibly not work because of the fact that we've already seen this in Man of Steel. We've already seen a novice Superman. We've already seen a non-experienced Superman. So I do think that a lot of fans aren't going to be the biggest fans that we are getting a untrained novice Superman once again. And then I also think that it will make a lot of fans be like, okay, so we're just getting another Christopher Reeves. You know what I mean? Because a lot of core Superman fans grew up on the Christopher Reeve Superman films, like I did, and even with Superman Returns, we got kind of the same model of the same thing. So there could be a little fatigue coming from that type of plot. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure there's a Superman animated movie that just came out not too long ago, which kind of mirrored the same kind of style and model. So I do think that a lot of the core fans might be a little mad that we're getting that same idea of plot. Now this is where they could really fumble. And I don't think James Gunn's that stupid, but they could really fumble the bag if we get a villain that we've already had before. And I think that is another issue too with a lot of Superman films, that they've been recycling villains over and over. Like obviously, a Superman Returns, we had Lex Luthor, obviously, like makes sense. But I do think that if we got Zod recycled, in Man of Steel, and BVS, we did get Doomsday, which could have been pretty cool, but the movie itself sucked. So whatever to that. So I do think that fans are going to want a bigger villain, and if they don't get that, I think that could really hurt like kind of the idea of this movie happening. Now, this could also have the potential to be done well. Okay. And this is why I do think that James Gunn is going to take a different approach to Superman. And when I say a different approach, I see James Gunn pulling from more of the Man of Tomorrow type of Superman, and the Man of Steel. One of the critiques that I get about Henry Cavill Superman, which I can halfway agree to an extent, is that he can sometimes come off as too sad and kind of too depressed and too serious and not hopeful. And I think that if James Gunn builds a Superman character that is very hopeful, that is looked at as the Man of Tomorrow instead of kind of the Snyderverse kind of about him being hated, which it makes with the story it kind of makes sense. But I think going a Man of Tomorrow type of route would make it super dope. And so I think that when you change the whole entire approach to Superman's character to make it more lighthearted and like that, I don't know how to explain it, that lighthearted type of character, I think it changes the whole dynamic of how the movie happens, and I think that with that happening, it makes it easier to streamline a big villain, but without making it seem like it's a crazy Justice League level threat. So I think there's some potential that can be done there. It just depends on how it is. Now, also, I do think that if they introduce Lex Luthor the right way, I think that this also works, because I do think that Lex Luthor should be in this film. But I think the way that Lex Luthor should be introduced into the Superman movie is he should be introduced already as a villain Supes has gone up against before. So we should see a interaction with Lex and Superman that's pretty normal. Like Superman's like, oh Lex, here we go again. I know you're always up to something, and I'm gonna find out. Lex is like, no, you're not. Blah blah. kind of like that type of thing, you know. Whereas we don't want them first meeting each other in this movie, you know. We want to know that they've already gone at it before, you know. And um as I said, I'm just going to stick with my main point. I believe that if they go right into it with a big villain, it works. And I'm not saying a big Justice League villain, a big Superman villain. Like a lot of fans want to see Brainiac. I think that would be dope as well. Give us something like that, and I'm pretty sure it will satisfy a lot of us fans. But I also think that it would come out as a really good project, because I think that's what we are doing. Zack Snyder's Superman was, to an extent, was very dark. When you just look at the film pilots and look at the way the movies were constructed, Zack Snyder was a very dark director, which, to an extent, I mean, I think it works for the Snyder Cut. I think it works to an extent for Man of Steel. BVS, it could have really worked, but it didn't. But I think that with taking a lighter approach, which when you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, when you watch Suicide Squad, those are the approaches that James Gunn has taken, a kind of lighter-hearted uh approach to these movies. I think this has the potential to be something great. So yeah, that's how I feel about this Superman movie that James Gunn has in development. I think it has a lot of potential to be good, and I have faith that James Gunn is going to roll it out the right way and choose the right guy to do it. So yeah, tell me what you guys think about this, and if you guys think that this is going to be good, this is going to be bad, just leave a comment below and a like. All right, love you guys. Peace out.